Hello, my sewing friends. This is Friday Sews on Saturday. Woohoo! I'm Jen, and this clearly is not my sewing room. It's my lanai. It's very hot and sticky out here, but you know what? I've been inside looking at my laptop all day, and I'm tired of doing that and being inside. And I woke up this morning feeling terrible. And I didn't feel great yesterday and immediately took a COVID test, and once again it's negative. Every time I take those things, they come up negative. I think I must be one of those people that are just immune. I don't know, but probably all the handful of supplements that I take every day keep me healthy, but yeah, I'm still not 100%, but you know what? When you are the person who created Friday Sews, you kind of feel a pressing obligation to do them every week. And I knew I was feeling good enough to do that. Not great, not good enough to get out and go around and do anything with anyone. In fact, I'll probably go back in and take a nap after this. But anyway, okay, all of that. Let's call that life. Yeah, let's call that life. Moving on to sewing. I got a lot of sewing done last week, but none of it to show you because it is 2 sew-alongs that I am doing. The first one is Simplicity 9538, and the next one, the other one, is McCalls 7390. 7390 I've had sitting there ready to go for a while, but I've kind of hit a roadblock with it. So you may not see this for a couple of weeks because I'm not decided on what I want to do to solve the wall I've hit. It's not a big deal. It's that I cut something shorter than something else, and so I've got to make up the difference somehow, and I'm debating on how to do that in a couple ways I could. Simplicity 9538 you'll probably see on Tuesday, and I have a lot to say about this pattern, but I will save it for then. Okay, so let's see, what else sewing? I went to Joann's yesterday early afternoon. I felt good enough to do that, but I just, boy, as the evening went on, I was like, forget it. But I went over and I needed to pick up my sewing machines. I had dropped off my Pfaff 2140 and my Singer Featherweight to be serviced. The Featherweight looks like a dream now. I think he polished it. I needed to go pick those up because I had dropped them off last week. And so the 2140 we fixed, or I haven't fixed. Eric, the magician wizard, capable service technician, and what is it? What painting with thread doer? I'm not making much sense. Extraordinaire. Anyway, he fixed the feed dog situation, so actually I might be able to do some embroidery on my machine. I'm kind of, I'm anxious to try that. I haven't done it yet because, I haven't even been in there except to go get some stuff. But anyway, I got those 2 things back. I think he even cleaned up the case on my 2140 because I cleaned it before I went, but it was looking pretty beat up, and he did a much better job than I did. So anyway, I went to Joann's on the way down there because it was on the way, and I stopped because of the McCalls pattern sale, and I got some patterns, so let me show you those. Let's see, starting with McCalls 8384. This is a shirt dress, and I'm pretty sure that Brittany J. Jones has done a sew-along for it. So you may want to, well, if I can find it, I'll link it below. But it's a really pretty shirt dress. It buttons up the front, and it's got flutter sleeves, or you know what? Maybe those aren't flutter sleeves. They may just be gathered sleeves, like puff sleeves. But it's a raglan sleeve with a collar. I think the collar has a stand and a button front, and the sides of the skirt in views A and B are gathered princess seams. The neckline is gathered into the collar. Lots of features. This just had too much going on not to get, and so I got 2 copies, all the sizes, because I think my daughter, my oldest daughter, would really like this. And yeah, So I got that. I got McCalls. Did I get two? Yeah, I got two sizes of this too. McCalls 7786, which is a pair of pants, which they're wide leg, but they're very interesting in the way that they're done. And my daughter, the same oldest daughter, loves what she calls elephant pants. And those are generally rayon or viscose, and they're very loose fitting, and she just loves them. So these just looked interesting enough for her to maybe take a second look and go, yeah, make me a pair of those. So I went ahead and got two patterns. I got all the sizes in case her sisters all decide, yeah, they want them too. Who knows? Maybe I want some. I don't know. Actually, that's what I was thinking, was that I wanted a view C, which is like a slant, and then the bottom part of the leg is ruffled into the upper part. So yeah, I just thought that looked interesting. Okay, I got McCalls 8398, which is, I know, why did I buy this pattern? It's a costume pattern, and I love the vest on this. I think that this vest, depending on how high or low you made that neckline, you could wear it by itself in the summer, and it would be really very smart with a pair of wide leg pants or capri pants. I just think, yeah, it was just a little bit different with the shawl collar and that little extension part in the front, which I'm sure has a purpose, or did back in the Old West. I don't know what it was. Okay, continuing on with McCalls, I got a bunch of vintage reprints, because vintage reprints, you know. Okay, starting with McCalls 8357. This is, I love the square neck. I love the simple lines, no gathering, no fussy things, just a basic dress with waistline darts that come up and regular darts, and one of the views shows a little jacket. Somebody around here has a scooter, and they go by a lot, and the rumbling you hear is it's thunder, because it's that time of year and it's that time of day too. Anyway, I loved the square collar on this, and you can make a little belt to go with it too, but it was just too simply elegant and cute to pass by. So I only got one of the sizes in this, and I may be sorry, because I may make it and have several of my girls go, oh, well, make me one of those, make me one of those. You know what, they say that a lot anyway, and then I never do. So anyway, I really like this. And McCalls 8380 is a one shoulder 1940s reprint. This is 50s. And this is a 1940s reprint. And I really like this for the one shoulder thing. It's just enough off the beaten track, you know? And it's got just that gathered skirt into a waistband. I'm not sure if that's, you know what, I should just look and see. Is that an elastic waistband or not? I think it is. Nope, I was wrong. It's a belt, like a self belt. But I gotta show you, look at this. This is laid out just like an authentic vintage pattern is. I mean, it's even folded the same way. I'm kind of impressed. Not bad, not bad, McCalls. Way to go. Does this say the same thing at the bottom? On one of them, it says, create your own designer garment with this McCalls licensed sewing pattern. Okay. Anyway, I just really like the one shoulder thing. So yeah. McCalls 7433 has been around a little while. This is circa 1943. Again, a very simple pleated shirt dress, and buttons down the front. It's probably got a zipper somewhere. I think it goes up the side. And there is a belt you can make, but just a very simple, straightforward V-necked. Is there a collar on that? Maybe a tiny, tiny little shawl collar, but button front, the shoulder seam comes down a little bit, and then the bodice is gathered into it, and 2 pleats on the back with a yoke. Short sleeves are long sleeves. The long sleeves have a button cuff and a pleated skirt. It's just classic, you know, classic. I love that. So yeah. Now this one I gotta tell you about because my birthday is in 2 weeks. And it's one of those no big deal birthdays. And let me explain that. My daughter Mia, when she turned 19, she said, "This is a total no big deal birthday, Mom." And I said, "Why?" And she said, "Well, I've already turned 16 and got my driver's license. I've already turned 18 and I can vote and join the military and buy a lottery ticket. I'm not 21 yet, so I can't drink. I'm not 20, so I'm still a teenager. I'm caught in between all the things, so it's a no big deal birthday." You know what? Same thing for me coming up. It's like, no, I'm too young to do some things and too old to do others. So I'm definitely feeling that age today. But anyway, I wanted to have a pretty dress to wear on my birthday. So I'm glad I picked this up, and I may or may not make this. This is McCalls 8280. And obviously what I love is the way that it's cut almost strapless. And then it's got these straps, shoulder straps that gather in kind of right here, and then they wrap up and around, and you can bring them around and tie them in the front, or you can tie them in the back, or you can just pull one around and do a one shoulder thing. I just think that's kind of cool. And you get a tiered skirt, a 3-tiered skirt. So that would be a special dress for a birthday, don't you think? Maybe that would make my no big deal birthday a little bit more special. Yeah. Well, the last ones, I have to tell you, I went on Joann's website to look at new look patterns, and they don't have any on their website. And that surprised me. And I remembered that every time I've gone to my local Joann's, I have 2. I have one 20 minutes west and one 20 minutes south. Every time I've gone in, they don't have much selection of new look. Hobby Lobby has a pretty decent selection, and theirs are still in the drawers, but Joann's aren't. And I had a little bit of a conversation with the person at the checkout at the one I stopped at yesterday, and she said, "Yeah, you know, I haven't heard anything definitive, but they did tell us to take them out of the drawers." And indeed they were in wire baskets sitting on top of the pattern cabinets. I thought that was interesting. So the great thing is they're $3.99 there at Joann's. So I thought, if they're not going to carry them anymore, then maybe I should look through and grab what I think I may or may not want in the future. You can always order them on the Simplicity website, but you're going to pay $7 here US shipping. And that's the price. That's $1 less than 2 patterns. So if you only got 2 patterns, it would cost you twice as much to have them shipped. And I just, yeah, unless I'm going to buy 10, then no. Now, Hobby Lobby does have them, but they are more expensive. They're only 30% off instead of, I think Joann's has them for 40, or maybe they just match the online price. I don't know. All that to say, I got 4 of these. I got New Look 6708, which is a little raglan sleeve top, and the sleeve is gathered into the bodice at that raglan slanted point where the sleeve goes in. I have a butterick pattern that has this kind of a top, a dress, and I think a pair of pants. And so, yeah, now I have 2. I think, you know, when I saw the butterick pattern, I think I was thinking of my friend Carol from So Carol, who made a top like that. And that pattern does have a top option, but I think she made this one. So I don't know. It has a puff sleeve, and I think just a long sleeve with elastic at the wrist. So yeah, it just looked like a basic top that would be good to have. and that I might like. And I might like it in the future. I don't know that I'll make it right now, certainly. I don't know, I might. But yeah, so I got that one. New Look 6710 is a skirt and a little jacket, and it's the little jacket that caught my eye. I thought this was just a top when I saw it the first time, but then I noticed it's a jacket. And I like that, like a little bomber jacket. And it's got princess seams, and it zips up the front, and it's got a little V-neck. And it's the kind of thing that you could wear like a top rather than a jacket, or you could wear it as a jacket. So I wonder if they don't give any descriptions, so they don't say anything about it. But I think it has a bit of a dropped shoulder and princess seams, believe it or not. So princess seams, boy, they're everywhere this season, aren't they? New Look 6737 I got for my daughters, and also because this is a bra top that wraps around and a pair of shorts. I thought Mia might really like this. And then it's got this little jacket. It's kind of like a little beach outfit. The jacket was what got me. You know, I don't know. I don't generally, I'm not drawn to this kind of a jacket, but I thought, well, you never know. It's almost like some little cardigan thingy that you can throw on. Now, you know, a lot of people would probably say, oh, that'd be great in chiffon, which chiffon is made in hell, and I have no love for it, and it has no love for me. But in a lightweight, maybe a cotton lawn or a cotton voile, it might be really pretty. Or a rayon. A rayon would be great. You'd get all that drape you would with chiffon, but not all the hassle. Or even just a basic woven polyester, like a silky, they call them at Joann's, or like a polyester crepe. That might be really nice. So that's why I got this one. And the last one is New Look 6694, and it just has a lot going on, a lot of trendy stuff for now going on. It's a tiered dress. I think you might be able to, no, you can't call this a shirt dress. It buttons down one side, has princess seams, so one of the princess seams is a button placket. It wraps, and it has tiers if you want, or it can be straight if you want. But I just thought it had a lot to offer. And on the model, what she's wearing there's so much going on with the tiers and the button and the bows and the belt and the whole, puffy sleeve and all of it. But yeah, sometimes more is more, huh? That's too much more for me. But I think this could be really cute. So I don't know. It was the kind of thing where I thought maybe you would like that later. So maybe you should grab it now. So I did. These were all $3.99. Okay, so let's move on to your comments, shall we? Not very many this week. Linda Thompson says, I'm going to Marco Island in October. Haven't had a vacation in 6 years. Any advice on what to make? And Marcia Kistner said, Linda, how about a maxi, brightly colored dress? I think that's a great idea. I think anything you have in a tropical print is going to be really, really nice. And especially in a rayon. I would avoid polyester to a large degree unless you can't. Polyester crepe doesn't tend to be hot, but natural fibers are just really nice down here. And if you wanted to make something out of linen, you might really, really like that. It's still gonna be hot in October. It will not start to cool off here until probably Christmas to even into January. It stays hot. So yeah, that would be my advice, and I'm sure that everybody has advice for you. So everybody else, if you have advice for Linda, please let her know down in one of the comments here. Okay, the Wandering Sewist has such an interesting comment here, a lot to say, and the gist of it is that she travels all the time. They move every 2 or 3 years, and so she has a problem in that a lot of the things she's made don't fit anymore. And so she doesn't know what to do with them. Like, does she get rid of them? Does she remake them? What should she do with them? She said, I'm a baby sewist and I don't know what to do with the makes that I love but don't fit anymore. Well, I was thinking about this and I thought, well, what do I do with the makes that I don't want anymore? Well, I refashion them a lot of times. A lot of times I just give them away because I'm much more of a person that wants to start fresh and make something new rather than take something and refashion it. I do that a lot with upcycles, but you can do that. You can take the sleeves off of something and put them on something new, or you can take the body of one of them and add things in to make them fit, or you can make some, thing for your house out of it. Make cushions, make, crafts. Like pot holders, or make a bag out of something. You have a lot of options, lots and lots of options. One channel that I would refer you to, now she's a little avant-garde, so this might not be the best recommendation, but I love her, is Angelina from Blueprint DIY. She is always, pretty much she makes nothing from scratch. She takes thrift store items and makes them into other things, usually off the runway that she sees, or on Pinterest that she sees designer things that are very edgy. And I like her because I get ideas from her, not because I want to copy what she does, but I like her ideas. And sometimes I think, like this last thing she did, she incorporated the button placket of a man's shirt into a ruffle she did on another man's shirt. And I just thought that was really smart to use those elements of something else for something new. So yeah, if I can find other upcycle channels, I will link those in the comment or in the description box. But yeah, I hope that gives you some ideas. I'm sure everybody else will have ideas too. Marcia Kistner, once again, she says, it makes me feel joyful to see you tossing fabric and things over your shoulder with complete abandon. Well, it makes me feel good to do it. There's a woman named Eleanor something. She's a quilter. I used to watch her on PBS back in the 1990s, believe it or not. And she was such a delight. I think still is very well known in the quilting world. And she would always sew something or cut something and then throw the scrap over her shoulder. I loved that. I thought that was just so much fun. Now, the story that I will tell you is this. The house we lived in when my kids were teenagers, they were almost all in high school. And I had gotten dishes at the Dollar Tree because I liked the colors of them, but they were $1 a piece. So I had not spent more than $20 in dishes. And I also had extra dishes. I had a full set that had been given to us. It was in the attic. I had another set that was glass that was kind of my china, my dressy dishes. I had a set of Christmas dishes, and I had the set of dishes that were given to us when we got married. It was like I had plenty of dishes. Well, I got so tired of nobody ever doing the dishes that I was overwhelmed one day, and I was tired of everything, and I sat down with a glass of water. It was very calm, and I thought, I know what I'm going to do. So I took the Dollar Tree dishes out of the cupboard, and I went out back, and we had a brick house at the time, and I stood there and I threw these dishes at the wall. Oh my gosh, if I could tell you how satisfying that was. Well, I had been at it for a few minutes, and my neighbor came over and he goes, "Are you okay? I mean, my goodness." And I said, "I am totally fine. This is so gratifying. These dishes are not expensive, and this is way cheaper than therapy." Oh my goodness. I was already going to therapy, so it just felt so good. I've never forgotten that. And you're right. It is a joy to just, with complete abandon, throw things over my shoulder. So you should try it. It's really fun. Dory. Oh, I love Dory. She always has the most positive, wonderful things to say. And I just love Dory. I love reading your comments. She says, I love your channel because you use both current and out of print patterns for your makes and your reviews. I do, and I worry about that sometimes. So this comment from you really helps me because I worry about the fact that I'm reviewing something that's been out of print for 20 years. And I know you really can. You can source these things out and find them on Etsy, on eBay, on Amazon sometimes, but you can't always, you can't just go to Joann's and buy them. I guess maybe that's what my hiccup is, because I want you to be able to readily get a hold of these things if you want to make them. So, and also Big 4 patterns aren't always available internationally. And so, yeah, I mean, it would take a long time for me to source out independent patterns for the Big 4s that I make and review. But, sorry, this is probably what is making me sick. But I'm glad to hear you say that you appreciate the older patterns. And I have a feeling that a lot of you have older patterns, or sometimes you even had that pattern. And so thank you for telling me that. That really encourages me and makes me worry less. And lastly, KT says, she's got some good stuff to say here. She says when she goes on a trip, she takes only items that are near the end of their lives, like the last of the makeup, the last of the shampoo, and things that are on their last legs from her wardrobe. And she says, I always make sure where I stay is near a shipping store and also a thrift store. The reason, first, is that these clothes are comfortable, the ones she takes. Second is if I find something I love, I can leave my clothes and other items behind and fill my suitcase with those new items with no guilt. The thrift store is right there. She can always donate them. That is so smart. I only travel with a carry-on suitcase, so if the item is too big, I can either ship it home or pick up a used suitcase at the thrift store and just pay for the extra bag. Yeah, I mean, I actually have done that when I've been away, and I usually check my bag, but when I've not had room for something that I buy, I just buy a suitcase at a thrift store and ship it, bring it with me when I go home. And, that's such a great idea, isn't it? I just love that. She said, this is a fabulous way to travel. Well, I totally agree. Totally. And to be honest, if you're taking the last of the shampoo and the last of the makeup and the last of the toothpaste, the way I travel, I'm always somewhere where I can always get another tube of toothpaste or another bottle of shampoo or, things like that. You can always get some when you get there if you are completely out. So, yeah, thank you. Thank you, KT. I think that's just such a great idea. Okay, this week's question is, what is the first thing you're going to make for the new season? For those of us up in the Northern Hemisphere, it's summer, and for those of you in the Southern Hemisphere, it's coming on into winter, isn't it? Well, with all the big deal sewing I've been doing lately, with deadlines and, a lot of have-to sewing, I'd like to do some want-to sewing. And so I have this pattern for a bag. I want that to blow away. This is the Versatile Wave pattern by Susan Rooney, and I really love this pattern. I mean, I haven't made the pattern, but I love the look of the purse, and I've seen the purse in real life done, and I really like it. So since I'm going to be traveling later this month, I thought maybe I would make that. And I have some, I guess it's quilting cotton because it came from a quilt store, but I have some quilting cotton. This is the base, and then this will be one side of the outer part, and then this will be the inside of the outer part, which is reversible. And these things just all make me happy. In fact, I really would like some more of this. And I found some at the quilt shop that I went to where I dropped off my sewing machines. but they didn't have very much of it. And there's a quilt shop west, I always think it's northwest of me, where I can go and check. My local one here in the one just down the road doesn't have any more of this. So, and that's where I got it, but I just love that print. I think a Simplicity 8640 would be fabulous out of this. So maybe I'll have to get some of that. So that, I think, is the first thing that I will be making. It'll be kind of adventurous. I have it all cut out, but it's going to involve fusible fleece and stiff interfacing and findings like D-rings and those swivel hooks and that kind of thing. So I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, let me know what you're going to make, the very first thing that you're going to make for the new season. And I think that'll do it for Friday Sews this week. As always, please check out this playlist of all of my Friday Sews. Enjoy. It will entertain you for hours, hopefully. And have a great weekend. And I don't have my prayer cards out here, so I'm just going to leave you with my favorite scripture, which is do justice, love mercy, and walk humbly with your God. I will see you next time. It'll be soon.